factually based sourced argument, sourced information.
Unverified hearsay was the term.
Factually based sourced information. And now he comes on making wild accusations with no factual basis. So there's a hypocrisy there. Wait, let me say something here. You just spent the last half hour, Scott. You spent the last half hour monopolizing.
Anna, just give me 1 second. Let me let Keith finish his point, and then we can continue. Go ahead, Keith.
First of all, I wouldn't take the Lord's name in vain on
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to yesterday's news channel, where we watch CNN so you don't have to. Last night, Scott Jennings returned to the panel on NewsNight with Abby Phillip, but honestly, he probably regrets showing up. There was some super rude, annoying guy on the panel going out of his way to mix it up with Scott Jennings and irritating the shit out of him. This super tense panel accuses Donald Trump of being an anti-Semite and try to downplay the recent revelations about President Obama's role in the Russia hoax. Anyway, let's watch Scott Jennings get pushed to his limit and almost lose his cool with a bunch of super fragile liberal elites. Let's go.
Ambassador Phillip, you were in Congress when all this was happening and defended the need for an actual investigation into Russian interference. Is she telling the truth that Russia did not interfere in the 2016 election?
Of course they interfered. They didn't turn any votes, as just as so many of the intelligence agencies and the Senate committee and everybody found. Of course they wanted to. Russians are always meddling in elections. Were they successful? Not really, but they meddled.
Were you serving with Marco Rubio at the time? Were you in the Senate or in the House?
Yeah, I was in the Senate.
Because it's significant that Marco Rubio co-signed the conclusions of this investigation.
Here's the scandal.
Oh, do tell.
No votes, you just said, and I think you're right. Maybe they tried. It had no impact on the election. The scandal is this, that high-ranking Democrats abuse their intelligence positions to try to convince half the American people and one entire political party that Russia stole the 2016 election. And they succeeded. Today, it is an article of faith among Democrats.
How did they? I think, Scott, you have to actually back that up. How did they do that, in your opinion? I mean, you're alleging that there was a conspiracy led by Obama to say that Russia changed the votes, which they did not say. So what are you talking about exactly?
I'm telling you that the program was this. They were shocked that Donald Trump won the election. They couldn't believe it. And so these people, I don't know who is responsible for it ultimately, but it deserves investigation.
Wait a minute, just a minute ago, you were saying the Wall Street Journal.
Why don't you let me finish? These people wanted the American people to believe that it was an illegitimate president. That was the point.
The Obama deep state, multiple officials.
The Obama deep state.
Yes.
So what about
the?
I sat here night after night on panel after panel.
Let's all calm down. Let's simmer down now. Okay, listen. Is Marco Rubio in the Obama deep state?
No, but this is
Marco Rubio in the Obama deep state?
No, but you are.
How is that?
Issues.
Okay, let's just bring it back to the facts here. Is Marco Rubio in the Obama deep state?
Did he author the Steele dossier?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Senator, Ambassador, let me go to you on this, because there was a bipartisan committee that looked into this. That bipartisan committee was led in part by Marco Rubio, and they concluded what? What did they conclude? Was it that Russia interfered in the election, or that Russia did not?
Well, that Russia interfered. They always do.
Okay. So is Marco Rubio?
It didn't change a vote.
It didn't. But what do people believe? What do people believe?
So hold on a second.
So
is this about what the intelligence community concluded, or is it about what you think the public believes? Are those two things the same, or are they different?
Abby, why would they believe it if they weren't told that by their government? They were told that by the White House.
If you are accusing people of crimes, okay,
I don't know if it's criminal, but it deserves investigation.
You might want to have your facts in order, because
the
you
facts
can't.
are this. They told people
Hold on a second.
Scott,
that's what they told
you.
You
cannot criminalize. You cannot target people with the law.
I think it deserves investigation.
By saying that they authored an assessment that says in plain text what Russia. Hold on a second. It says in plain text what Russia did in the election, and then you want to punish them for what people believe?
Yes, I want to punish them and investigate them.
That is absolutely wrong.
For leading the United States down this ridiculous black hole.
Two points. One in response to Scott, and one about the whole conversation. First of all, in the last segment, Scott was complaining because the Wall Street Journal was reporting factually based sourced arguments, sourced information.
Unverified hearsay was the term.
Factually
Go
based
ahead.
sourced information.
Unverified hearsay.
And now he comes on making wild accusations
They're not wild.
with no factual basis. So there's a hypocrisy there.
Wait,
wait,
what's
let
not
me
factual?
my second point.
something here?
You just spent the last half hour, Scott. You spent the last half hour monopolizing
Anna,
and
just give me 1
filibustering the
second. Let me let Keith
conversation.
finish his point,
Jesus
and then we can
Christ.
continue. Go
I
ahead,
wouldn't.
Keith.
First of all, I wouldn't
Scott,
take
please,
the Lord's
just-
name in vain on.
Well, you
television.
have pretty much. So
Scott, please. Just
secondly,
give us a moment. Go ahead.
This guy is brutal, but we got plenty more of him in the second half. So first, let me address Abby's little game she was playing here to pretend that Scott's accusing Democrats of denying Russia interfered in 2016. He's not. Nobody is. The real question is that you're trying to obfuscate, Abby, is who weaponized that interference to smear Trump for years? And what role did Obama and other high-ranking officials in the federal government play in allowing that narrative to grow leg? You want to know the answer? All of them. They pushed the Steele dossier. They leaked lies to the press. They had Schiff and Brennan doing media rounds claiming there was evidence of Trump-Russia collusion that they knew didn't exist. That wasn't just their everyday narrative spinning. This was coordinated disinformation from inside the government. I'll get right back to video, but one other quick thing about this other guy. He's super rude, just smug, and it's like he has a crush on Scott or something. He's like obsessed with him. I mean, you guys are just seeing a couple clips, but through the entire show, this guy kept trying to mix it up with Scott. Then if you didn't have reason not to like him already, which, by the way, as you'll see in the next segment, there are a countless number, he uses the Lord's name in vain on live TV. And when Scott checks him, rightly, he fumbles out some incoherent nonsense like, he was like, you did, or something like that. He's like, I don't even know what he was trying to say. Back to it.
It's all end. Does it end?
It doesn't end unless we stand up against it. And I'm really ashamed at Columbia University. I taught at Columbia University for several years. This is an embarrassment to the school. It weakens the integrity of the institution not to be independent. And I don't think it, you know, Harvard is fighting back and a few other schools are fighting back. But we saw when the law firms capitulated that the ones who didn't capitulate and fought back, they won those cases. And people should stand up against fascism. We have an opportunity here to use the power of the law to stand up for what is right, not just to defend what Donald Trump wants this country to be. One other point. The reason why they gave for this Columbia penalty is because they were anti-Semitic. Donald Trump has dined with Nazi sympathizers. He referred to bankers just a few weeks ago as Shylocks.
Were they or not? Did they discriminate against Jewish kids or not?
Let me just finish.
Just say yes or no. You talk there.
You talk about people.
You talk there.
You talk about people interrupting
You
people.
don't
You
want
do
to
it all
say
the
it.
time.
They systematically discriminated against the Jews. Just go ahead and say it.
My point is that Donald Trump has a history of engaging in anti-Semitic behavior, of repeating anti-Semitic memes, of hiring people who were anti-Semitic, including people like Elon Musk, who was doing Nazi salutes just a few months ago.
Slanderous.
And he was doing that.
Slanderous.
And after all that, we talk about, well, Columbia University is the one place we're going to draw the line. If you're going to be consistent, let's be consistent. Anti-Semitism is wrong. Let's stand up for it everywhere, including in the Trump administration.
You don't pay $200 million to just, quote, make something go away. You pay $200 million because you know you got caught red-handed systematically discriminating against Jewish students. That's why you pay. That's why you change your policies. If elections have consequences, if Trump had not won, they would still be doing it today. Thank God he pushed back on them.
Look, I think
Does it apply to you or not?
Does what apply to me?
Accountability.
Accountability? Why isn't there any in this case?
Well, I have a few thoughts. One, I said at the time, and I still believe it today, I have no trouble with there being an investigation of this. I think it's warranted. And so we'll see what comes out. Number two, we don't have the official report yet. I'm curious to know what Secretary Hegseth has given as his side of the story to the IG. We'll see, I guess, when the report comes out. Number three, and this is just some speculation based on what, the scuttlebutt is, there is some viewpoint that the Secretary of Defense, because he has declassification authorization, when he puts information into a whatever, he can declassify it at that moment, and we'll see if that argument becomes viable.
That is an absolutely wild argument to make about
So
an
he'd
ongoing.
declassify-
That's an argument he won't make.
He will not be
Really?
making
Why?
that argument
Why?
about
I
an
mean, if
ongoing
the-
military operation.
Why? If he removed key details and he believes he has the authority to declassify information, I mean, they might make. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm just saying they might make that argument. I don't know.
Why do you think he won't make that argument?
Never admit when they made a mistake. This was clearly a mistake. They sent classified information or top secret information or secret information to a reporter in the middle of a campaign, of a war campaign. And that's inappropriate. Everybody knows that. But instead of admitting that and trying to move on and having an investigation, they tried to dodge and deflect and have a cover-up. That's always the problem. It goes back to the Epstein story. The cover-up is always worse than a scandal.
But you know what?
Trump said,
Careful with the word cover-up.
Trump said they made a mistake. I mean, he said out loud, this was a mistake. They learned from it. I mean, he admitted it.
This guy's completely out of his mind. He accuses Trump of having a long history of anti-Semitism because he brought Elon Musk into the fold, and they're pretending Elon did a Nazi salute. We're still doing that. That's the level of discourse we're getting from CNN. Well, why am I saying? Of course it is. I can't believe I just said that. They always come across as so desperate. Trump just helped Jewish students win a $200 million settlement against Colombia for actual anti-Semitic discrimination. His daughter's Jewish. The guy moved the embassy to Jerusalem and got a standing ovation in Israel. That's a conversation for another time. Anyway, none of that counts, right? Because Elon raised his arm weirdly. That's this guy's whole case. But his smugness, his complete lack of self-awareness that he knows nothing about what he's talking about. Like he's educating Scott Jennings instead of spewing absolute garbage. It's unbearable. I'm not joking. This is the closest I've seen Scott Jennings looking like he's about to flip the table. And honestly, if he did, would you blame him? When CNN is on the wrong side of an issue, as they are so often, they don't defend their record. They smear anyone who exposes it. So Trump and Musk, obviously. But look, even Scott Jennings, he's a target too, because those three guys, they don't play along. But Scott really does go above and beyond because he has to listen to all that crap. And he doesn't just call them out. I mean, he tears the narrative apart. But what do you guys think? Do you think that guy crossed a line by calling Trump anti-Semitic? And do you think Abby crossed a line dismissing Obama's potential role in the Russia hoax? And do you agree with me? If you watch Scott regularly, did he not look like he was going to lose his you-know-what? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's it for this video. Support the channel. Follow me on X. No announcements today. Otherwise, as always, thank you so much for taking a couple minutes out of your precious time to watch my video. It means a lot to me. Never forget Jesus loves you. I'll see you guys.